Project scope management includes the processes required to ensure that the project includes all the work required and only the work required to complete the project successfully. In this process, in this knowledge area, you will study 6 processes: plan scope management, collect requirement, define scope, create WBS, validate scope, and control scope. The first process in scope management is called plan scope management, which is the process of creating a scope management plan that documents how the project and product scope will be defined, validated, and controlled. The next process is collect requirement, where we gather requirements from the stakeholders and we will produce 2 documents: requirement documentation and requirement traceability matrix. Then your next process is called define scope, where you will take requirement documentation and you will summarize your requirement into comprehensive document, that is called scope statement. Next process is called create WBS, the process of subdividing project deliverables and project work into smaller, more manageable components. And then we have validate scope, the process of formalizing acceptance of the completed project deliverables, and control scope, which is the process of monitoring and monitoring process group, where we check the status of the project and product scope and managing changes. So what is scope management? Scope management is the process of defining what work is required, and you will have to make sure that you are doing only that work. The term scope management is related to gathering requirements from the stakeholders, and the term requirement is defined as a condition or capability that is required to be present in a product, service, or result to satisfy an agreement or other formally imposed specification. So all you need to do in scope management is to gather requirements from the stakeholders, and you must manage your project according to the requirements of the project. So you must learn these important things. You must plan in advance and how you will determine the scope, as well as how you will manage and control a scope. A scope must be defined, clear, and formally approved before work starts. You will gather all requirements from the stakeholders, not only that person who appoints you. You will have to involve your stakeholders. So requirements are gathered from all stakeholders, not just a person who assigned the projects. Requirement gathering can take a substantial amount of time, especially on large projects that may involve obtaining requirements from hundreds of people. So you must understand that this will take time, and obviously you will have to involve all your stakeholders. If you do not identify your stakeholder right from the beginning of the project, you will face many changes when you will find out any stakeholder later on in your project. Obviously he or she will ask you to make many changes according to his or her own need. So what we do, our first step is to plan your scope management. Then in scope management you gather requirements from the stakeholders and you produce requirement documentation, and then we also produce requirement traceability matrix. So a work breakdown structure is used on all projects. Next step is to produce project scope statement. So right after producing requirement documentation, requirement traceability matrix, and scope statement, we produce a work breakdown structure. A work breakdown structure is used on all projects. A side benefit of this tool is that you may find additional scope and be able to clarify identified scope and when you create the WBS. While the project is being completed, you must check to make sure you are doing all the work, but only the work included in the project management plan. Gold plating is not allowed. Gold plating is called doing something extra for the stakeholders which is not part of project management plan and which is not part of your requirement documentation, but you are trying to do something extra for your stakeholders to make them happy. This is not allowed in project management. Any change to scope in later on, for example, you are in executing process group, so obviously your stakeholders will contact you to make or incorporate some changes in your project. So you will not facilitate that change directly, but you will take the request, you will evaluate it, you will compare it with time, cost, risk, quality, resources and customer satisfaction, and then you will forward that change request to your change control board, and that board is authorized is to make changes or approve changes or reject changes. So no change to scope are allowed without an approved changed request. Scope changes should not be approved if they relate to work that does not fit within the project charter. And here, as a project manager, you should have courage to say no. If you believe that a change you are receiving from any stakeholder is not or does not fit in project charter, so you need to continuously determine what is and is not included in the project. As we are studying scope management processes, so you will study 6 processes in this scope management knowledge area. First official process is plan scope management, then we have collect requirement, then we have define scope, we have create WBS and validate scope and control scope. So you will study these 6 processes in project scope management. If a business analyst is assigned to a project, requirements related activities are the responsibility of that role. As a project manager, this is not your responsibility to direct, gather requirements from the stakeholders. You will appoint a system analyst, and this is his or her responsibility to gather requirements from the stakeholder. So what is a responsibility of a project manager? The project manager is responsible for ensuring that requirements related work is accounted for in the project management plan and that requirements related activities are performed on time and within budget and deliver values. The relationship between project manager and a business analyst should be a collaborative partnership. A project will have a higher likelihood of being successful if project managers and business analysts fully understand each other's role and responsibilities to successfully achieve project objectives. So let's talk about product scope and project scope first. You must understand difference between product scope and project scope prior to start your work in scope management. The project scope includes all the work needed to be done to create a product or deliver a service or result. The project scope is all about project. It defines the requirements of products the work required to create the product and defines what is in the scope and what not. The product scope is the characteristics, features, or functions of a product, service, or result. It is the outcome of the project. The product scope is all about the product, how will it look like, and how will it function. For instance, you are making a car. So to make a car, you will have to develop a project charter. You will have to gather requirements from the stakeholders. You will have to work on requirement documentation, requirement traceability matrix. You will produce scope statement. You will produce work breakdown structure. You will work on time activities like network diagram. You will gather work on risk register. So these all documents belong to project scope, and product scope will be the characteristics of that car. It look and feel, its color, its different functions. These will be the product scope of the product. So the product scope is the characteristics, features, or functions of the product, service, or result, which is the outcome of the project. So let's talk about the first official document of project scope management, and that is called plan scope management. To work on this process, in inputs, you need project charter first, along with project management plan, an enterprise environmental factor, and organizational process assets are the common inputs to all processes in project management. So what you need in project management plan at this stage? You need project charter to work on plan scope management, and you need project management plan. And in project management plan, you need development approach. So let's talk about the development approach, which create and evolve a product using a predictive, iterative, incremental, adaptive, or a hybrid model. What is predictive? Predictive is basically a waterfall model, a form of project life cycle in which the project scope means all requirements, scope statement, work breakdown structure, and work breakdown structure dictionary, and along with the time processes like network diagram and schedule of the project and cost. These three documents are needed to work on your project. So a form of project life cycle in which the project scope, time, and cost are determined in the early phases of the life cycle. Next is called iterative life cycle, where project scope is decided early, means you will gather requirements, scope statement, and work breakdown structure. You will work on these documents early, but time and cost estimates are modified as the team's understanding of the project increases. Iterations develop the product through a series of repeated cycles. So this is very safe approach. Like you gather all your requirements of the project, but you do not give time and cost estimates to your project sponsor or higher bodies. Next is called incremental life cycle. In incremental, a deliverable is produced through a series of iterations when each successive iteration adds some functionality. You divide your large project into more manageable components, small components called deliverables, and then you gather requirement, you estimate time, and you estimate cost module wise. So a deliverable is produced through a series of iterations when each successive iteration adds some functionality. This approach is very common in software engineering projects. And the last iteration puts all the pieces together for the final product. Iterative and incremental life cycles are often used with agile projects. And we have adaptive lifecycle approach as well, where detailed scope is defined and approved before the start of an iteration. And last is hybrid lifecycle, combination of predictive and adaptive approach. So plan scope management has three parts: inputs, tools and techniques, and outputs. So in inputs you need project charter, and in project management plan we have studied development approach, project lifecycle description, and quality management plan. Along with the enterprise environmental factor and organizational processes are needed to work on plan scope management. What is project lifecycle description? The project lifecycle determines the series of phases that a project passes through from its inception to the end of the project. And in quality management plan, the way the project and product scope will be managed can be influenced by how the organization's quality policy, methodologies, and standards are implemented on the project. Then we have in tools and techniques expert judgment and meetings. These are the common tools and techniques of different processes in project management, along with the data analysis, where we use specific alternative analysis. So what is alternative analysis? Various ways of collecting requirements, elaborating the project and the product scope, creating the product, validating the scope, and controlling the scope are evaluated. So these are the tools and techniques of plan scope management. And in outputs, we produce two documents: scope management plan and requirements management plan. So let's talk about scope management plan. It has 7 sections. First is scope statement development. Then we have work breakdown structure, WBS dictionary, scope baseline maintenance, scope change, deliverable acceptance, scope and requirement integration. In scope statement development, it describes how the project statement will be developed, including any alternative analysis, stakeholder interviews, or research that will be conducted. Then we have work breakdown structure. What is work breakdown structure? It describes the WBS and whether it will be arranged using phases, geography or major deliverables, or some other way. The guidelines for establishing control accounts and work packages may also be documented. Then WBS dictionary, identify the fields that will be used in the WBS dictionary and the level of detail needed. Since work breakdown structure has work packages, so you will take one work package and you will elaborate and explain and characteristics of each and every work package in WBS. So that is called WBS dictionary. Then when you formally develop project scope statement, work breakdown structure and work breakdown structure dictionary, you formally approve these 3 documents from the project sponsor. That becomes your scope baseline. When something is formally approved, that becomes your scope baseline. So identify the type of scope changes that will need to go through the formal change control process and how the scope baseline will be maintained. When you formally get approval from the project sponsor of project scope statement, WBS and WBS dictionary, as a project manager you cannot make any change directly in your project right after the approval of those documents. So in scope baseline maintenance you will have to specify how are you going to make changes in executing process group of the project. And of course, scope change describe how changes to scope will be managed. This includes articulating the difference between a scope change and scope revision. Then deliverable acceptance. For each deliverable, identify how the deliverable will be validated for customer acceptance, including any test or documentation needed or sign off. And finally, you produce scope management plan. And second output is called requirement management plan. The requirement management plan is a component of project management plan that describes how project and product requirements will be analyzed, documented, and managed. According to business analysis for practitioners, some organizations refer to it as a business analysis plan. Components of the requirement management plan can include how requirements activities will be planned, tracked, and reported. Configuration management activities such as how changes will be initiated, how impacts will be analyzed, how they will be traced, tracked, and reported, as well as the authorization levels required to approve changes and requirement prioritization process, metrics and traceability structures that reflects the requirement attributes captured on the traceability matrix. So a scope management plan is related to all 6 processes of scope management. Scope management plan document covers all processes of scope management, like requirement, like define scope, like create WBS, validate scope, and control scope. But requirement management plan, which is a part of project management plan, is specific to design for requirement gathering from the stakeholders, like how you will gather requirements from the stakeholder, what will be your strategy to gather requirements from the stakeholder. So these two documents are different basically. So plan scope management takes project charter and project management plan, and these are your skills, tools, and techniques which as a project manager you will use to produce these two documents.